couple of mental models that don't serve us well. First of all, one I call the if-then fallacy. The if-then fallacy works like this. When people say, if only my boss, my partner, my children, put in whoever you like there, would stop doing this, then everything would be fine. Then I'd be happy. Or equally, if only they would start doing something like this, then I'd be happy. Really doesn't work like that. You have no control whatsoever over what other people do, and your happiness does not depend on that. Equally, if I get this goal, whether, new house, good relationship, lots of money, win the lottery, whatever it might be, if I get this, then I will be happy. That doesn't work like that either, because of the way our brains work. Our brains are never satisfied. Our brains are constantly learning, so that we always are making comparisons. And whatever you have, yes, okay, you have a goal to make it better and you get something better. That then becomes the norm, and then you look for something better again. In other words, however much you have and however much you think, if only I get this, then I'd be happy, you won't be, because there's always something else beyond that, because your brain is always making the comparison between what you have, which becomes normal, you get used to it, and what you want, because you want something better. And there's plenty of research on this, particularly around lottery winners, people who win the lottery, their happiness goes up. Sure, it makes you happy for a short time, that's okay. But then their happiness level goes all the way back to what it was before. And then, you're looking for the next $1 million or whatever it is. There's also plenty of research that says that you certainly need a certain amount of money to be happy and to, to live okay and to live well, but it doesn't increase your happiness very much going beyond that. So even making $1 million, you'll want a second million, and then you're only a millionaire, and then you want to be a billionaire, and then if you're a billionaire, what else do you want? There's always something. So might as well realize that our brains are not built to be able to say that when I get this, then I'll be happy, because it'll be very short-lived, if at all sometimes. Because there's plenty of things certainly that I've wanted and I've even got them and I thought they made me happy and they didn't. And there's plenty of things that I wanted and I thought they'd make me happy and I didn't get them, and afterwards I thought, thank God for that. That would have been a disaster. So that's one mental model I would present to you as not useful, certainly in these circumstances. And the other one is the fact that we have control. We don't have control. And the more we try to cling on to control, the more difficult it's going to be. So we don't have control. All we can do is the very best we can. Of course, we need to set goals. Of course, we need to try our very best and to take action to achieve what we want. Absolutely. But then you may or may not get it. If you get it, great. If you don't, equally, fine. Take action again. And I think the learning point here is that, particularly in these difficult times, it doesn't help to focus your attention on what's wrong, or even worse, what could go wrong but hasn't. But to focus your attention on what can I do right now? What is my next action step in order to move forward in the way that I want to move forward? Okay, so now I want to come on to this idea of practice, this idea of doing something. And I'm going to just briefly touch on 3 practices that I think are absolutely fundamental to our psychological, our spiritual, and our physical health. And now is the time when they become even more important. And now is, of course, the time when we may be tempted to drop them because, there's lots of things going on. We don't know what to do. We may feel anxious. But this is the time when they're even more important. Now, spoiler alert here, this is not rocket science, okay? I'm not going to give you some amazingly complicated coaching model that you can apply and sort out your life. These are the basics. These are the simple things that form the basis of everything else. Just like as coaches, if you know the basics, the fundamentals, you will be a great coach. The masters of anything are the people who do the basic stuff. They really know it well, and they know it so well that you can't even notice how good they are.